Let me get rid of that thing. Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Popeye Live. And yes, man, you know, the news over the last 24 hours about the nuclear football, in case you didn't get the title of the show, what it was about, or at least what we're starting with, is the nuclear football that the Congress, some congressmen, about 11 of them, wrote a letter to President Potato Head asking him to give up sole authority of the nuclear football. Now, at the same time, in the news that's going on out there, and please tell me the volume is up enough on this thing, at the same time, they broadcast to the world that from the time some type of imminent attack starts, we have about 37 minutes to make up our minds of what we're going to do. So we broadcast to the enemy out there how much time they have in order for a first strike. You can't make this crap up, everybody. This is what Democrats do. They broadcast to the enemy what we're going to do and how much time they have to do it. They have to do it. It's insanity that these people are our representatives. It's insanity of the stupidity that goes on in Washington, D.C. There's no way we should let the Congress or the Senate or anyone else subvert the president's power, no matter who he is, of the ability to react to an attack, no matter what kind it is. There's no way that you send this to the Congress or Senate to put their 2 cents worth in and cause more delay. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the debate that would go on in the House and the Senate? Well, maybe we should. Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we should. Maybe we shouldn't. What do you think? Well, let's do a poll. I'm just saying, everybody. You can't turn this stuff up to a bunch of morons, even though that's what we have sitting in the Oval Office. And thank God that he is not the final word, that the military has a say in this. Whether what's going on is legitimate. And at this point, I would rather put it in their hands than any politicians we have right now, especially the ones that are in charge. And you're right. You're right. It's a nut house. It's a nut house. You know, I do believe we should move the Congress and the Senate out of Washington, D.C. Matter of fact is we should move them to the center of the country. Maybe northern Texas, maybe Oklahoma, maybe Kansas, someplace in the middle where we can get at them. And they're not thousands of miles away in Washington, D.C. We need to have access to this bunch of morons. And we also ought to be utilizing maybe a closed down Air Force base, a military base, and we put them in a barrack style living. If it's good enough for our soldiers, it's good enough for them. We give them an allowance, a living allowance, and that would be it. And that way it would cut down on the morons that we have flying across the country every weekend. I do believe that should be something we should do at some point, is to get them the hell out of D.C. And we need to cut down on all the lobbying and their ability to make money from all these corporations. We need to make it less comfortable for them. We need to make it less profitable for them to hang around there 30 years. That's what we need to do. You know, they're never going to vote for term limits. They're never going to. They will tell you, you can term limit me at any time you want. Just throw me out of office. But they know in the past that hasn't been an easy task, because they win re-election 80% of the time, 85% of the time. And now with all the new voting systems we have, and I got news about that here in a minute. With the new voting systems we have, hell, they can just stay there as long as they want. And we need to make that too more reliable, if you know what I mean. More fair. Where we don't have a situation like we have right now with Mr. Potato Head. Or Dementia Man, if that's... Maybe we should do a poll on what name we should pick for him. Because we can't say his name over the YouTube. That's what I'm saying, everybody. It's crazy. But hey, there is news tonight out of Arizona. Yeah, there is news. Just when you thought that, well, maybe nothing's going to work. But we've had a judge that's made a ruling in Arizona, Maricopa County. His name is, I think, Timothy Tomlinson. And he has ruled it is within the state Senate's authority to inspect equipment. It is within their authority to audit. And they told Maricopa County, you've got to allow them access. And so we're going to get a look at the voting machines, whether they've been tampered with. We're going to be able to have an audit. And you know, guys, all we need is for one to fall. Just for one. And if we find what we suspect, there's going to be an explosion like no other. And just maybe all the others will fall like dominoes. Now, will it change anything? I don't know. I don't know. The only people I can figure that could do anything at this point would be our military. But I don't see that neither. And what we've got going on right now is at CPAC today, and there were some interesting things that happened in CPAC today. One was Project Veritas, the time they had, and I'll capture that video tomorrow and post it at TexasBikerRadio.org so you can see it. And you know, it's what I see is going to happen is they are going to reorganize through Donald Trump the Republican Party. And I think the people at CPAC are letting them know what it's going to be. It's going to be Trump. Trump, Trump. Anybody that tries to stand in the way, and any of these rhinos that have caved to the left are going to be gone, gone, gone. That's what's going to happen. And we have it on good authority today. Donald Trump is already picking his next cabinet. And he's not going to make some of the same mistakes he made before. He's going to pick people he knows he can trust, that will have his back, and not people that's there to undermine him. People like Mitch McConnell, people like Mitch McConnell's wife, people like Mitt Romney, people like Liz Cheney. The list runs on and on and on of those who cave to the left again and again and again without a fight. Without a fight. In other words, it's going to be a GOP with a pair, if you know what I mean. People that are intelligent and know how to fight. And many of them are women. Many of them are women. It's going to be an incredible thing. What we're doing is reorganizing, and we are going to, one of the main things we have to do is fix what happened in this election cycle. And I do believe that can be done with pressure, just like the pressure they put on Arizona and the judges, because that has been going on for months. Months. The people in that state and in that county have not quit fighting. They haven't quit. And now finally they're going to get their audit. Is it a chance they've destroyed evidence? Yeah, it is. But I mean, how is that going to make them look? And how is that going to make them look for the next election cycle, just under 24 months? And you know, it's been brought up that Donald Trump could run for the Senate in Florida. And I do believe he would win. That's if they're, you know, if he dared step on the people there that they're happy with. but that's possible. Just saying, everybody. Wouldn't that be something else? But, wow, man. Hey, look, the people, the insane maniacs in California, the Hollywood types, are pushing for a $2,400 a month payment to all moms. Yeah. I would say if they really wanted that and they mean what they're saying, they can get together with Bill Gates and all those big tech companies, and they could make those payments themselves. Why go after the taxpayers that's already stressed? Why do that? Why do that? They have enough money among themselves to do that if they want to. So jump on it, Hollywood. You do it. Don't ask us to foot those kind of bills. We don't have it. The country don't have it, but you do. Hey, get China to pay for it. They're the cause of it. Just saying, everybody. It's insanity. It's insanity. It really is. But we have a lot going on right now. California. Get this, everybody. Get this. California is this is a hoot. I've lost my there it is. There we go. California is dedicating $28 million for all the illegal immigrants that's coming across the border. So we need to inform all illegal immigrants to, once they cross the border, go straight to California. Go straight to California. That's where you need to go. They've got money waiting on you. And maybe we ought to pass out some flyers to the ones around here. Free money in California for all illegal aliens. Free money. Maybe we'll start a Facebook site for that. Yeah. Or a website. That way Facebook can't have anything to say about it. How about that? We make a website that guides immigrants to California. I think we'll do just that. Sounds good to me. And so, if they're coming across the Texas border, we just steer them right on to California. Hell, we ought to be giving them bus rides. Is what we ought to be doing. Just an idea, everybody. Just an idea. It's insanity at its best. During a pandemic, when everybody's struggling, that we're inviting people in for free stuff that we can't get. That we can't get. And there's still, I did hear that a lot of people this last week got their $600. But do understand, don't get used to that like I talked about last night. Don't get used to that. Especially if you're white. Just saying, everybody, because that's all they're talking about is white privilege. I can promise you, since I was 18 years old and left my home to go in the military, nobody's giving me shit. I earned it on my own. I found jobs on my own. Nobody gave it to me. And the one time I did seek government employment, the one time, the guy took me to the side. He said, "Man, you can't get on here. You're not the right color." That was the U.S. Postal Office, U.S. Postal Service. So much for white privilege. So much for that. From that point on, I never sought another government job. I never did. Because I figured that I already had one strike against me because I wasn't the right color. And that's the truth of it, everybody. That's the truth of it. Even in the service, even in the Navy, I had to fight to achieve. Not because of my color. It was because I was short, 5'4". Every step of the way, I had to prove myself. It wasn't given to me. I had to battle. I had to prove that I could handle the job as well as any others. You know, so, hey, life is not fair, and we can't make it fair for everybody. We can't feed the world. We can't take care of everybody that trips over the border. We just can't do it. We'll go broke, in which we're busy doing right now. The money. Let me say this. Let me rephrase that. And you may have heard me say this before, and this is good for the new people that have joined us. You know, I was president of the Orange and Tea Party. And the Tea Party was born out of overspending government. It wasn't about Obama. It was about a government and the out-of-control spending that was going on. And that's the reason that many of the Tea Party members back when it first started were people that, you know, in their 50s and 60s. Because they recognized what was going on. They had retired, and all of a sudden they started looking at the spending, looking at the budgets. And they knew at some point this is all going to go to hell. Now it's many years later, and it's proof that our economy is resilient. But then again, that debt keeps climbing. It keeps climbing. And in order for it not to collapse, in order to pay some of that debt down, you've got to have a roaring economy. And that's not the direction we're heading. Matter of fact is, we're heading in the opposite direction. Inflation is going to bite the Bidens in the butt in the Democratic Party. Change is going to depend how quick they fuck things up. And if you look who they're putting in all these positions, you know that's going to happen sooner rather than later. Because these people they're putting in those positions are not because they're well versed or trained in the positions they're being put in. They're being put in those positions as political payback. They may have zero experience in the positions they're being put in. Zero. And we'll go over some of that here in the coming weeks. And I know I announced to you guys that we're going to have Robert Kessage in here pretty soon. He'll be calling in from East Texas. He's president of Las Colinas Capital Management. And we'll talk to him about the economy and get his input on it. He's a great guy. And, Hey, I did get a message today about one of our patriots on the chat line has China virus and was asking me what all I did to combat it. And I'll let him announce it on there. It's not my place to do it. But, everybody say a prayer for one of our patriots on the chat line. Say a prayer. He and his wife both, I think, have it. But you can go to, if you happen to encounter the China virus, you can go to the China virus survivors page on Facebook. And you can catch some of the early videos there where I discuss what we did early on. And how we survived it. Then again, a lot of this China virus stuff has to do with the genetics and how your body handles it. And my 93-year-old dad, as you all know, made it through it. Matter of fact is I visited him today, this afternoon. Watched a couple of movies with him. And he's just as bright as he ever was. He can still talk shop, aircraft. Both of us were aircraft workers. And that's a blessing that he was able to survive the China virus. And we do want to encourage others. Hey, if you get it, you get hold of your GP. He should send you a regimen of steroids and some antibiotics. He should do that right off the bat. And I see Brain Damage just posted that they just tested positive for it, and that's who our member is, our patriot there on the chat line. And Brain Damage, we're going to say some prayers for you and your wife. I got a prayer group here in Texas that it's really good. And it works. It really does. Well, you guys have heard me talk about the Hispanic side of our family has been decimated by the China virus. One family, a mother, 4 brothers. It's incredible. But man, hey, really, that's all I had for tonight. We're trying to make up our mind whether we're going to get another dog or dogs. We lost Gus and Luke maybe about a year and a half apart. And they were something special. Now, we hadn't had to have dogs, and it hadn't got, we hadn't had to find a kennel or any of that kind of stuff whenever we take a trip or something. So it does make it a little bit easier not having to worry about that kind of stuff. But then again, I miss my dog. Just saying, everybody. Just saying. Hey, don't hesitate to drop us an email at gunbarreltx@gmail.com. You got something you want to discuss, or if you've got a story you want to get out there, send me a message. Put it up in the subject line, Popeye. That'll get my attention because I get a lot of emails. So make sure you do that. Let me say hi to some people on the chat line here. Let me go back to the top. I see Solar Dutch, Forrest, David Jones. How are you guys doing? Oh man, I could never get that one. Johnny Hill, how you doing? David Garcia, Mindy, how are you doing, Mindy? Ann Norris, I think pronounce that Dorcas. I hope I got that right. Maybe I don't. Earl Bennett, how are you doing? And I think I got just about everybody covered. Sounds like you guys are having some, Mad Matt, 48. I don't know if Mad Matt's new. Good deal. Good deal, everybody. Hey, I thank you for joining me tonight. I'll probably be back Sunday night to promo our Tuesday night show. Oh, Randy, how you doing? I see you there. Yeah. Hey, look, we've got things we're going to be doing. I think I touched on it a little bit last night. We're going to be bringing people in here in the studio, and we're going to be we're looking for a place where we can actually have an audience, and that's going to be real cool. It'll take us a while to find something, as long as we're able to do YouTube. I guess, you know, it's I look out there and I see a lot of the strikes and people that get thrown off. They get thrown off for videos they did weeks and months ago. This is what happened. That's when we got our first strike. It was over a video we had done a month or two earlier. Well, because they took that video down, I couldn't even find it, didn't even know what it was. I finally did, and we posted it on another platform. But it's kind of a game that's going on here. You never know what you're going to say that is going to set them off. And that's the same with Facebook. Although we think that what they're doing is poor business practices, and you know, one of the best ways that you can get back at them, if they're advertising a bunch of crap. And let me tell you, MeWe is a pleasure because you don't have all those damn ads that pop up every other message. They just don't have them. So it makes that platform a pleasure. And yes, we are there on MeWe. We have Texas Biker Radio there. We have Sons of Liberty Riders there. That's where we're at when we're not on this. Well, actually, it's a backup because in case we get shut down on YouTube, you can go find us on MeWe. And yes, we are on Rumble. Now, Rumble, we record this video like this one right here we're recording tonight. This will be put on Rumble as a backup in case this goes down. You'll be able to see it there because if they take it down on the other platforms, it goes down everywhere. But on Rumble, they can't do that because this is recorded, and right as soon as I'm finished, I load this onto Rumble. The same video. So we have a backup plan just in case we piss them off and we don't know why. Because, we're not saying anything that they shouldn't hear. We're not saying anything that is that controversial. Because we've all witnessed everything we're talking about. We saw it in real time. We don't need them giving us a bunch of BS about what we saw and what we witnessed. We don't need somebody feeding us a bunch of lies, whether it comes from big tech or whether it comes from your mainstream media, and you need to quit watching any of that at all. And you need to let their advertisers know it. We're approaching 500 members on Constitutional Warriors. We need 1,000. We need 2,000. Because we're going to start attacking these businesses that are backing up these communist organizations like the BLM, like Antifa. Fascists. They are fascists. They don't even know what a fascist is. They say they're anti-fascist. They're full of BS. That's what I'm saying, everybody. And with that, I've gone longer than I planned to. I said I'm going to be out there about 15 minutes. But when I get started, I just can't stop. It just starts flowing. With that, everybody, have a great weekend. It's still raining here in Texas. If you don't have a motorcycle, buy one and come ride with us. Good night, everybody.